Morning, teacher. I'm Tan Siyuan. Let me introduce our group assignment. Freedom in modern society has grown into a strong cultural phenomenon that is not limited to the admiration of celebrities, movies, or fiction works. To most people, freedom provides a depth of identity, community, and emotional fulfillment in a world that is becoming more and more complex and disconnected. Freedoms can offer real fulfillment and not just entertainment through common interests and fans communities, implying that people can connect and have a sense of purpose through freedoms. Nevertheless, the profound emotional adjustments also provokes philosophical reflections of various extreme spans of actions add values to the life of a person, or rather serves as an escape position and denials of individual responsibility. With increasing levels of admiration, freedoms may develop to the point of unconditional loyalty, which can be likened to contemporary devotion. The idealization of public figures can sometimes go to an extent of overlooking or justifying moral which as a way of losing the line between appreciating and blind loyalty. This raises some ethical issues when imperfect social leaders still are worshipped, even when they engage in detrimental conduct, causing the shift in social ideas and moral consideration. This assess will investigate the degrees to which the freedoms culture can bring fulfillment and also indicate the ethical dangers which can happen when critical thinking is suppressed by blind obedience using philosophical approach to culture, including utilities, technology, visual ethics, and exteriority.
Hi teacher, my name is Junrei. Let me continue the next part, research question. The first question is, can fandom culture provide real emotion fulfillment, or does it mainly function as an escape from reality?
Good morning, teacher. My name is Chen Fu. So I'm going to answer this question. The first objective of this study is to examine whether fandom culture provides genuine emotional fulfillment or mainly serve as a form of escape from reality. In modern society, many individuals face stress, loneliness, academic pressure, and uncertainty about their identity and future. As a result, fandom culture often becomes a space where people feel emotional support and understood. This study aims to explore whether participation in fandom communities help individuals build positive emotion, confidence, and a sense of belonging, or whether it encourages avoidance of real-life responsibility and problems. By analyzing emotional attachment, time investment, and personal identity within fandom culture, this objective seeks to understand the philosophical impact of fandom on individual well-being and personal development.
Second question is, in what way can instant fan devotion become similar to modern day worship?
The second objective of this study is to analyze how intense fan devotion can resemble modern-day worship in contemporary society. Fandom culture often involves practice such as constant content consumption, emotional dependency, collective rituals, and strong emotional reaction towards idol. This study aims to examine similarities between this practice and traditional forms of religious worship, such as devotion, loyalty, and the search for meaning. By comparing fandom behavior with religious concepts like faith, reverence, and moral guidance, this objective seeks to determine whether fandom has become an alternative belief system for some individuals. This analysis helps to understand how modern society replaced traditional source of meaning with cultural and media-driven figures.
Third question is, what are the few of the ethical issue with glorifying impactful people? The goal of this paper is the assessment of the moral issue related to the worship of imperfect celebrities and what time their work can still resonate with large masses of people in the entertainment business. Scandalous moral scandals or even criminal acts by celebrities are the order of the day, and at times they still end up having a massive fan base with very few followers. The aim behind this is to explore the ethical quandary of all such fans. One only al- those one allow the disconnection of the art and the artist, or those one side with such problematic individuals and let them off the hook of their unethical action. This goal looks at how social values are influenced by personality and raises the question of whether the fans during the digital age should bear the moral responsibility to find out where the boundary will be forward between admiring talent and bad behavior. The last question: how can we apply philosophical concept to the students of the complexities of fandom culture?
So now about how can we apply philosophical concepts to the studies of the complexities of fandom culture. The first aim of the study is to apply at least four suitable concepts of philosophy, for example, utilitarianism, deontology, virtue effects, and existentialism, to justify and prove the interpretation of the fandom culture. So the fandom of culture is usually examined under the influence of psychology. The given research will strive to provide an additional theoretical foundation to justify its ethical appropriateness. In particular, this analysis will be based on the concept of utilitarianism to review the total happiness fandom culture offers against the total harm it causes to society. The ontology to review the total moral responsibility fans possess in terms of truth and sincerity, not just fanatical loyalty per se. Virtue effects to review how much fandom culture fosters good character traits in the personality or develops bad character traits, and existentialism to review how much fandom culture is an honest way of self-realization, instead of its opposite notion of poor faith in which people lose themselves in the life of others.
Hello, teacher. I am Ng Jae-yu. I'm going to explore the importance of the study. Our group choose to study fan culture because there are more and more people who idolize, are crazy about anime, support esports team, collect blind sport, or love a certain brand, especially among us young people. Whether discussing the latest idol trend in the dormitory or sharing your favorite work in the circle of friends, this phenomenon has been a friend of someone or something has become a part of our daily life. We hope that through this study we can use some philosophical viewpoint to close to life to discuss the survival question that everyone may have thought about it. This this does this kind of friend behavior enrich our life, or it is just to help us escape from the pressure of reality temporarily? When love become a strong input and even affect our judgment and behavior, have it gone beyond simple hobbies or become more like a spiritual substance or modern belief? More importantly, how can we find a rational boundary between really like and blindly follow the trend? First important is help ourselves, know ourselves in love and learn or grow in participation. As freshmen who have just entered university, we are in an important stage of exploring ourselves and establish value. Many people have their own circle of passion, maybe a single, a national woman, a team of subculture, but systematically studying this phenomena, we are reflect on our own way of participation. Why am I attracted to it? What impact does it have on my emotion, social interaction, and even my studies? This kind of reflection can help us understand our emotional needs and identity more clearly and avoid losing ourselves in pursuit. Furthermore, when
We can enjoy our hobbies while maintaining clear mental growth. Second important is to inspire the classmate and friend around us. On the university campus, friend culture can be seen everywhere. It may bring positive link, for example, a study group formed because the same play or charity book donation activity initiated in the name of an idol. But it may also lead to unnecessary conflict, such as disputes on the internet because of different views or excessive investment that affect work and rest and schoolwork. We hope that through real and close to life case such as volunteer service organized by friends in campus music festival, team spirit in e-sport competition, or campus discussion triggered by some consumption in idolites. We can show how friend culture specifically affect our collective life and interpersonal relationship to encourage people to look at this phenomena more openly and critically.
I will continue the third importance of study. Understand our daily choice and behavior from a simple philosophical point of view. Philosophy is not a distant theory. It can be a practical tool for us to analyze life problems. In this study, we will try to interpret fans' behavior with the following easy to understand concept. Is it or it like utilitarians? See if it brings more happiness or more problems. As this throws the bottom line, this is similar to their to logic, whether the basic principle and respect have been observed. Does it make me a better person? Similar to visual ethics, does it promote qualities such as patience, friendliness, or creativity? What kind of myself did I found from it? This is similar to existentialism. Does it help me understand the meanings of belonging of life?
Now, I will continue the fourth importance. It helps everyone find the boundary between healthy liking and excessive addiction. There is nothing wrong with liking a thing, but how much you like it may bring different results. We hope to collect and analyze different types of fans' behaviors, such as creating fan works, participating in online support, buying peripheral product, defending idols, and try to summarize some boundary signs for reference. For example, does it begin to affect normal study and rest? Can you still expect different view and criticisms? Did you develop new skill or make positive friends in the process of liking? Can you distinguish between work and real people, ideas and reality? These tools help us to keep ourselves in emotional investment and form a rational and responsible attitude of participation. Finally, these abilities are not only very important in these assignments, but also will lay the foundation for us to complete the reports, participate in class presentation, and even graduate thesis in the future.
Next, let us continue the decision of the question. The first decision is fandom culture as emotional fulfillment or escape from reality.
Okay, so I'm going to continue our discussion. So fandom culture in contemporary society can provide genuine emotion fulfillment, but it may also function as a means of escaping reality, depending on how individuals engage with it. A great number of fans feels a strong sense of belonging and emotion helps because of common interests in music, movies, anime, and sports, or personalities on the internet. Fan communities can provide social connection, support, and validation, particularly for young people experiencing academic stress loneliness, or identity uncertainty. In this way, fandom has the ability to generate a positive impact on emotional stated at ease, promote a meaningful relationship, and share a sense of purpose. From a utilitarian perspective, fandom culture is morally justifiable when it generates more happiness than harm. Fandom leads to enjoyment, creativity, motivation, and social bonding, which improves overall well-being when one participates in fandom. Examples include fan-driven charity projects, fan creation, and online friends communities that intensify social connection. Emotional attachment can, however, become excessive, thus making fandom a problem. An unreasonable amount of time, money, or emotional energy can lead to people forgetting the need to develop themselves or to take care of their real-life tasks. When this happens, the harm outweighs the benefits, reducing the overall utility of fandom participation. Existentialism further highlights this tension by emphasizing authenticity and personal responsibility. Fandom can be a truly authentic life choice when it helps people express themselves and have a sense of self. Nonetheless, when people rely on fandom as a means of escaping their own problem, it's a kind of bad faith, where responsibility is denied by living vicarious. Thus, the ethical worth of fandom has nothing to do with the activity, rather it has to do with the degree of self-recognizing and control that a person has.
Next decision is fandom as modern-day worship.
Extreme devotion in modern society often resembles modern-day worship. The fans can also indulge in religious behavior such as incessant content consumption, emotional devotion, group rituals, and unswerving allegiance to idols. This adoration is enhanced by the digital platforms of an account, routine streaming, voting, and common defense of those in the spotlight. Such practices are similar to those of the religious aspect of the traditional world, such as adoration, faith, and feeling a strong community belonging. Since conventional sources of meaning have been weakened among certain people, fandom can serve as an alternative organization of belonging and emotional safety. It is common to find celebrities and fictional personalities taking the role of a symbol of an ideal, aspiration, or hope. It is possible that fans are in need of comfort, direction, or inspiration by these figures, just as religious believers get meaning through spiritual leaders. There is, however, the issue of concern when admiration evolves into unconditioned devotion. Unquestioning obedience and suppression of critical thinking can be promoted through blind loyalty. Intense fandom devotion as compared to belief systems that encourage moral reflection can be more focused on emotional attachment that on ethical judgment. Consequently, fandom will be easily transformed into an emotion-based instead of reason-based philosophy where admiration would substitute a moral judgment.
The next decision is ethical issue in releasing impactful public figures. One of the most significant ethical concerns within freedom culture is the glorification of morally valid public figures. Celebrities in the entertainment sector are known to engage in scandalous or unethical practices, but they can still get a good and solid fan base. This scenario poses significant ethical issue of accountability and responsibility. According to the deontological perspective, morality is based on the duties and ethical values and no and not the emotional attachment and the result. It is the moral obligation of the fans to honor value like honest, respect, and justice. When emulation is used as an excuse to commit harmful behavior, then these principles are violated. Fulfillers Bully also undermines responsibility and send the message that fame or talent can be used to excuse unethical behavior. Virtual ethical lays strict on moral moderation and created building when excessive fanaticism develops such views like intolerance, oppression, or lack of empathy, especially in case where the fans attack critical of or who refuse to acknowledge the wrong. Conversely, a healthy attitude toward fandom promotes moderation, introspection, and honestly recognizing the value of art and simultaneously assessing the wrongdoing morally is ethical maturity and responsibility in development. The last decision is philosophy evolution of fandom culture.
So next, I'm talking about philosophical evaluation of fandom culture. The complexity of the fandom culture can be explained through the use of philosophical frameworks in addition to psychological explanations. Utilitarianism evaluates fandom by comparing happiness and harm and supports it if there is more benefits than costs. Deontology focuses on the limit of morality, where people are reminded that they should not be loyal to their duties at the expense of morality. Virtue ethics has its emphasis on moderation and development of good character, whereas existentialism emphasizes authenticity and personal responsibility. Collectively, such views prove that the culture of fandom is not always positive or negative. Its moral importance is determined by the way people interact with it, and in which case, critical reflection is preserved. Fandom may make personal and social life richer when it enhances emotional fulfillment, creativity, and ethical awareness. It is ethically problematic when it promotes blind worship, escapism, and moral corruption. Philosophy therefore helps identify the boundary between healthy admiration and excessive devotion, encouraging reflective and responsible fandom.
Now, in the summary, fandom culture in contemporary society, highlighting its potential to provide emotional fulfillment, identity formation, and social connection, while also addressing the ethical and philosophical concerns that arise when fandom becomes excessive. The findings suggest that when engaged in moderately, fandom culture can offer emotional supports, a sense of belonging, and opportunities for self-expressions, fostering creativity and positive social interaction. However, intense fans devotion may resemble modern-day worship, characterized by unconditional loyalty, emotional dependency, and the suspension of critical judgments. Such devotion can lead to ethical issues, particularly when fans justify or overlook the immoral action of imperfect public figures, thereby weakening moral accountability and critical thinking. By applying utilitarianism, deontology, virtue ethics, and existentialism, this essay argues that fandom culture is neither positive nor negative. Its moral significance depends on how individuals participate in it. Besides that, healthy fandom encourages joy, meaningful, and ethical awareness, whereas excessive fandom risks escapism, blind worship, and moral compromise. Philosophical reflection therefore play a crucial role in identifying the boundary between healthy admiration and harmful obsession, promoting reflection and responsible engagement with fandom culture.